Hello, it's Evan. This is Evan Says at Evan Wexell on social. Evan Says live to look back at old episodes. But I'm here to talk about something different today. We have new music from artists that have previously put out this music, but each have a twist. So usually, if you've listened to my other podcast, Socially Awkward with Evan Wexell, I interview Facebook friends, and usually it's Bon Jovi fan friends to talk about this, and I get their takes. Here, I'm just going to give you mine because we are going to talk Bon Jovi, and we're going to talk Jack's Mannequin. So here's what's going on. First up, we've got a new album / re-released album called Forever, the Legendary Edition. So Forever came out a year ago. John was still recovering from his vocal surgery and building himself back up, and he's done some scattered shows here and there, but now he is duetting it. He's bringing on the just like Frank Sinatra, I think. He's going the Frank Sinatra route, and he's duetting with some of his friends. He's got a nice Rolodex of contacts that he made for some of these tracks. So with that, what we have now is that this release is coming out October 24th, but already out, you have a duet with Bruce Springsteen, Hollow Man, and you have a new track, Red, White, and Jersey. Now, I always thought because I was a Bon Jovi fan, I considered myself from New Jersey. So I think there will be some appeal outside of New Jersey, but here's what I think about the song. If you know the song, if you heard it, it's up on YouTube. You can stream it, pre-order the rest of it. So here, we're going to do Red, White, and Jersey. You got a music video out now, and you've got the song itself. The song takes a little bit to grow on you. It's very like, it seems like mellow at first, but then it gets upbeat. The opening, I think he does this intentionally. It's just like Out in the Streets by Springsteen. Like the opening measures are, it's like you think you're hearing the same song. He's done that once before. Bon Jovi fans, you may know this. If the Because We Can album, Beautiful World, the rhythm, the musical progression, just like Matchbox 20, Let's See How Far We've Come, which is great. Then it's like, what do you do with that melody? And then you hear the rest of the song. Now, people say this song is a little bit like Just Older off the Crush album. They say it's a little like When We Were Us, which was written around the time of the Hall of Fame induction. I mean, I think it's its own thing, because the thing about this song, which it's fine, you can crank up this song more than does the job, but John is very good. And this is what John Bon Jovi is great at as a songwriter, probably better than anyone, is he can songwrite something that is specific to him, and he can make it universal for everybody. He's amazing at that. That's why he can tour internationally. It's not just, oh, he's a cute guy and has good choruses. Like, his content can be applied to anyone in any country at any time. He's an evergreen songwriter. This song, and just an example of how he can go universal from specific. Thorn in My Side was written because he couldn't get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I would have never guessed that unless it was an interview. Living with the Ghosts, was about Richie's leaving the band. We still hope he comes back, but we wouldn't know that unless, like, he doesn't name names. He doesn't give us too much specifics here. In Red, White, and Jersey, he gives us some specifics. We've got Homage to the Fast Lane. We've got Looking at the Lights in New York City. Like, this is his. It's not a universal song in terms of the lyric, but obviously the message is more of a universal, almost like victory lap. This is a good victory lap song for John. He gets to look back at things and look at, like, wow, we did it. And I think the video enhances the song a lot. Like, there's definitely, like, I can figure out, like, there's a different narrative here. Now, if you even notice it, I think he goes even this far. I think he wanted to cast a younger version of himself in Dorothea. Like, if you've watched the Hulu documentary, younger photos of Dorothea look a little like that, the lady in the young actress in the video. And I even think, like, the young man in the video looks a little bit like maybe John was back when he was 17, 18. And on a tangent on that, there's now on their website, bonjovi.com, you can get a picture book at least called Before Bon Jovi. You get all these photos of John when he was like a teenager. And I guess this guy just took photos and chronicled it, and now they're releasing it. So that's really cool. When I look at those photos, the preview shots of that book, it looks like he like wanted to have people that looked a little bit like him and Dorothea. So this is really, in its simplicity, great upbeat song, and it's a song for his wife, because who doesn't write a song that's not for like this person they love? So it's a great song. It's worthy of an album. I think Legendary is an amazing track. So if you were listening to something off of the album, I'm a Legendary person. I'm a Living in Paradise person. But I get other hooks from other songs. But, you know, the song's coming out. You get a new voice with it. The good thing about Bon Jovi is he has a lot of allies in the business, and he has a lot of allies in the media, and he will get eyeballs to what he just did. It can come off like a niche song, like it's just for people in New Jersey. I mean, you've got the governor tweeting about the song, which is, it's kind of cringe. You don't really want politicians tweeting about pop culture, but fine, we accept it. They're friends. He supports him. It's fine. They support each other. I think the album's going to do well. I think when this comes out in October, it's going to do really well. Now, this is kind of the blessing and the curse of trying to get albums in 2025. Forever came out a year ago. I think it was like a top 10 debut in the US, which is great. The next week, it fell out of the top 200. So that's hard to do. But what you get out of that is like, people don't buy albums really anymore, but the fans will show up right away. And that's why the fans show up right away. We sell stuff out fast. Bon Jovi did a fan club trip in June in Nashville. Sold out fast. Filled up fast. So the fans will show up no matter what he does. If and I'm going to say this about Andrew McMahon later, if he wants to release an album, just John singing the phone book, we will buy that album. John singing his shopping list, we will buy that album. John listing out all the US presidents, we'll buy it. It's new original content. We will consume it. So that's really cool. The other part of this is that there is now going to be this forever release. So I just want to show you some of the tracks there. I don't know every artist on here. I should know more. Obviously, we know the Warren Treaty edition for The People's House. It's going to be interesting. I want to see what like Billy Falcon does with Kiss the Bride, because I know they wrote that song together. I want to hear what James Bay sounds like on Legendary, because that's a great one. But one track that's already out, Hollow Man, is with Bruce Springsteen. And the cool thing about this song is I feel like sometimes, you know, John Bon Jovi kind of channels his inner Tom Waits, Bruce Springsteen, gruff storyteller voice. And it's almost like the song was meant to be written to be duetted with Springsteen, because it's like almost something you would hear on the Nebraska album, the way he and Bruce go back and forth. So it does sound like the kind of things Bruce would say also. So it's really cool to see the chemistry and hear it on the track. I'm curious if we're just taking the audio track from the initial release of Forever for John, or if he went back in the studio and he laid down different lyric because there were different additions. Like there's a harmonica now in Hollow Man, which fits very well. Things I'm looking forward to. Jelly Roll, Living Proof. Fans really like Living Proof. I'm not the biggest fan of that song. I can see why people like it, but I think Jelly Roll will make it better. Jelly Roll has soul. Walls of Jericho with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. As a wrestling fan, I obviously want to see Chris Jericho sing Walls of Jericho with Bon Jovi. I don't know if that ever crossed his mind. It should have, but I'm sure this is going to be a really cool job. One other thing I think is going to go awesome. Oh, let me get me back. There we go. Bring me back. So I want to see, I want to hear how Avril Lavigne does with Living in Paradise. That is my favorite track off of that album, because he wrote it with Ed Sheeran. It would have been amazing if he had Ed Sheeran come on to do that track, but I think Avril will knock it out of the park, and I think they'll be able to play off each other lyrically. So I want to see also, is it a different format of how they're going to do these duets? Is it always going to be, I'd start it, you do the second half of the verse, I do this verse, you do that verse, we sing at the same time together? So those are the things you always want to, know technically as a musician, like how that works out. But very excited for the Forever album. I think it's a very good album. I think it's a good upbeat album that he needed to write at this time in his career. And it sounds like there are whispers of a tour in 2026. I believe if you got this album pre-ordered in the UK or ordered a CD of it, it may come with a voucher for the 2026 tour. So I think he's going to do a decent job of touring the mega places that he's always been known to tour. I mean, could this mean a return to Wembley Stadium, the O2, giant MetLife Stadium? We'll see. But I mean, again, anything he does now is a gift that we get when he comes back on stage. And if he thinks he has what it takes, then give it to us and make it look easy, because he did. And there'll also be a Spanish version, I think, of made it look easy on the Legendary edition. So there's that. Now, I've never spoken really about this, but Jack's Mannequin, changing gears here. Jack's Mannequin has a new album out, which is re-release of an old album. It is the 20th anniversary of Everything in Transit. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me paraphrase it. I got in late on Andrew McMahon. Andrew McMahon was the lead piano player and vocalist in the band Something Corporate about 20 years ago. He wound down things with Something Corporate, and then he got a type of cancer where he couldn't really fight infections. So he was getting chemo, and he wasn't, there's a great documentary of him, I think it's called Dear Jack, with Tommy Lee narrating it. But, he's about to wind that down, and he had recorded Everything in Transit. He wasn't sure he'd be around to have it get released, but he made it through. And 20 years later, they did remaster it 10 years in. That's the version I got. I got in on Andrew McMahon and his work only like 2 years ago, but it's been a gift to find all his. He is loaded with talent. He is a prodigy, virtuoso, whatever you want to call it. Everything with him looks so easy to do. He may disagree, but so he wraps up Something Corporate, and then when Everything in Transit comes out, that's the first album of Jack's Mannequin. I'm familiar with that name. I think they may have come to my college when I was around or after I missed out. But then he ran with that. And then about 10 years ago, he kind of went on his own, and I think it was called Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. And he's been releasing like different tracks, different albums. They don't all sound the same. Definitely there's a difference in sound as those albums progressed. And but he's kind of coming full circle. He just did a show at Red Rocks where like all the bands of all his career came on the stage. They each did their own set. Andrew like opened and featured and headlined all at the same show in Red Rocks. And I think he does that on his cruise also. He has his own cruise that you can go see. Everyone's got a cruise now. So what did he do 20 years later after this Everything in Transit? He re-released 5 songs from Everything in Transit, called it Strings Attached, because some of these songs are going from the piano heavy, piano primary sound you hear to almost strings primary. So some of these tracks are like strings, not strings attached, like it's strings. And there's maybe you hear a little bit of light percussion, a little bit of piano in the background. And that was a struggle for me at first. Now, the thing is what he did, and this is actually very similar to what Bon Jovi did. And is I guess this is what artists do in their mid-40s after they've already had a good, decent career. They like to experiment. If you remember 2004 with Bon Jovi, for the Bon Jovi fans, they came out with This Left Feels Right, which they took basically all the songs off of Crossroad, which was their greatest hits album at the time. And they remixed it both to be challenging to their ability to compose and maybe to adjust to how they sound vocally, how their vocals have maybe changed since those 20 years. And it was enjoyable. I think fans loved it. Again, they did this. I saw them live at the Borgata playing those songs with those mixes, and we ate it up. It was like 2004. I think fans did not like that overall, that experiment, because it was messing with their memories. But it was like their mid-40s experimentation with things of songs past. And that's kind of what Jack's Mannequin's doing right here. Like Andrew wants to go add up a little, add something to something else, make it sound a little same. And he can do no wrong. Very creative guy. His talent permeates a space. Like there's something very special about Andrew McMahon and his talent, because he can just let it go. And like he could release me playing piano, singing the phone book. I'll buy it. So the songs on this which is probably his best, the most known Jack's Mannequin album. We've got 5 tracks: Holiday from Real, Bruised, Dark Blue, I'm Ready, the mixtape. So there's 2 camps with this. I'm kind of split on this. You've got Andrew's voice, very energetic. Like when he plays live, like he fills up a space. Like he crushed at Red Rocks. He's even like crushed when I saw him solo at the Hotel Cafe in LA. Like he just fills it up. When you put strings into these tracks, they can be a great compliment. Obviously, one of my favorite bands are Yellow Card, and the violin enhances it so much. Now, this is more of like, I wouldn't even call it acoustic. It almost sounds like you're at a recital for some of these tracks. Like these are big songs that some of them come off civil. Like they're very polite all of a sudden. Dark Blue, you're like looking up at the sky and dark blue and all that. And here it's like you're kind of like sitting in an upright chair in a little, I don't know, concert hall, little auditorium, when I imagine listening to some of these tracks. But because again, Andrew's a guy during synesthesia who will put on a rainbow cape, and just walk around the audience. And now we have just, it seems like it's a confined space, but some of these tracks do translate well. It's just I'm so used to the piano driving the song, and here you got the strings driving the song. So I think Holiday from Real, Bruised, Dark Blue, the strings are doing things you're not used to hearing. But it's a good compliment to what you already know. Now I do like I'm Ready has the piano intro. Like you at least have that line, that melodic line in I'm Ready, so that when the strings do come in, you can understand it. I think the thing people have enjoyed, the McMahon fans, I'm in like a Facebook group. The thing the McMahon fans I think really like is the mixtape. That translates really well to the strings attached edition. I think there's a certain cadence, there's a certain like sound and absence of sound that allows the strings to complement what's needed here. And that's what makes that it's worth a listen. Like I don't stream my stuff. Like I've already pre-ordered my legendary edition of Forever. I've already purchased the strings attached EP because I'd rather have the artist get 70 cents than like 1,000th of a cent. So it's a good get. I think strings attached is a good compliment. If that album meant a lot to you, it gets another vibe on it. And then you get the new album cover. You get the Ukraine flag flying across the top if you like that. Yeah, it's fun. Nothing wrong with same Venice panorama shot there of Venice, California. And man, I look at it like Andrew is as talented on the piano is comparable to like Richie Sambora on the guitar. There's just so much there. And like you can't imagine how someone gets so much musical talent. It's just one person. But these are great releases. And hope you guys definitely check them out. Even if you got to go on YouTube, stream a song, watch the music video. I think the video for the Red, White, and Jersey, it's great that he put out a new song in addition to just putting out songs maybe fans already have. You got to give us something new. And I think he does that. So thanks for checking this out. I just want to get those thoughts down. Final plugs. I know I'm kind of doing this all by the seat of my pants. Oh, I should probably add a source for this. I don't really have a source. Let me, I am sharing right now a blank. I probably am only coming up blank here right now because that's how I roll. There we go. I'm kind of doing this by the seat of my pants. So I don't have I have a Patreon technically, but if you want to support this, and here had my Bon Jovi Russian doll right here. See, look at that. You open it up. I'm going to open it. Oh, there's Tico and Dave and Richie. They're all in here. Russian doll. Mother-in-law got me that. But if you want to support the podcast, I got a link tree. This shows some of the things I offer. I got the Socially Awkward podcast. I have Funny Forever tees And I have the Spam Whisperer book. That's with me talking to those text spammers that don't leave you alone and you can just ignore and block them. I do not. I engage and I give them a rough time sometimes. But I got to drop their front, and I tried to help them out. So that would be in a potential Spam Whisperer 3 if there was a Spam Whisperer 3 of me talking to the spammers. So I just wanted to show you that if you want to support what I do, this is kind of just my my monologue, a monologue at a time when stuff comes up. But this is Evan Says at Evan Wexell on all that social media. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks for checking.